Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jules, and we are starting an art journal. This is week 4, where we are going to start in transferring images into our art journal. It is a really simple technique using just acrylic paints and some water. We're going to dive right in and start combining a lot of these techniques that we've been discovering over the past several weeks. Let's get started. All right, the materials that you're going to need for this class. We're first going to need an old credit card or a hotel key, a couple colors of light acrylic paint, and some laser copies. This is just regular printer paper that's been made with the designs printed on a laser copier. That's going to be very important. Inkjet transfer has a whole other process to it. So we're just going to use the acrylic paint with the laser copier. So in the laser copiers, I just want to say, do something where you're going to print something that has a lot of contrast to it. A white background is best, or a light background, and then a darker print on top of it. So like I might grab this fish or this fish and these birds. You'll see how we do it. And then a spray bottle, some water, a rag, and of course our journals. I have pre-painted a few pages in this just using up paints that I had after a painting session, or maybe I got a page to a certain point and I just stopped. I can use any of this stuff, but I already have a dried background with all of the white on the page covered up. All right, so here we go. This is going to be really easy and quick, and it's just going to add to your arsenal of techniques that we have been exploring over the past month. So I think I'm going to turn to this really bright one right here. Like this one, it's a dark titanium white. We'll do this pink. It's an easy name. Yeah, I have acrylic paint down on this page already. Okay, so I'm just going to use part of this and go around the actual birds. Maybe tear it off a little closer so I don't have as much paper to remove later. Okay, so it's going to go like this because it's got to go face down, right? So I'm going to have the birds kind of flying that way, I think. Maybe more off the page here. How about right here? Okay, let's do that. So I'm just going to do something really easy. I've got a couple colors spurted out over here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of each one, kind of get a little stripey situation happening. I'm going to see where I'm going to put it, and then I'm just going to put paint down in that area. Oops. Okay. We just want to smooth it down and make sure it's making really good contact. We don't want to get any of the acrylic paint on top of this paper because we are going to come back in after this dries and remove the paper, leaving the laser copy underneath. So I'm making decorations around what I just did, just for some interest. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. All right, here's another example of just using up paint that I already had that I didn't want to waste or get rid of. And I'm going to do the same thing right here with the paint that we just used for that image transfer. So I'm just taking my credit card and putting it down in random areas. As usual, you'll see the same type of techniques in my videos over and over again because I want you to build on all of this stuff. You can take stuff from one lesson and apply it to directly the next and the next and the next. Taking some more paint, hitting the areas where there isn't any pigment on the paper. So just fill up all your books in different ways. This is why it's good to have 2 or 3 books going at one time. So you can have things drying in one, you can be making things in the other, and get in a rhythm of just wherever the moment takes you. Instead of trying to finish one piece at a time, the idea is to do several different levels and layers of 4 or 5 pieces in one sitting, and you will have much more satisfaction in your art practice. Okay, so I'm going to rinse this and clean it off. Right, learning lots of great tips. Okay, this is beautiful. I'm loving it. Now, let's go back to this one and see what happens. So this is the one that we are just using acrylic paint on acrylic paint. I'm going to spray it. I'm going to let it soak in. Of course, if you just use a regular piece of printer paper, see how quickly that absorbed into it? That's what you want. One of the thin sheets of paper. And I had birds on this one, so we're just going to slowly rub it off. And we are going to be left with this design from a laser printed piece of paper, a laser copy. Now, how do you like that, you guys? Really simple. Holy cow, did I just do that? What is up? Isn't that fantastic? So that was so much fun. Let's do this one more time with the extra paint that we put on the pages earlier. So I've got another copy, and I'm just going to tear around the design that I want. I think I'm going to grab a few of these other little fish. Okay, so how do I want these fish to go? How about like that? All right, so I'm going to put some paint on my card. All right, and so I'm going to press this down. Hey, guess what? I've got extra paint on my card, so as this dries, I'm going to put the rest of this paint in my other book. Maybe I'll put it up here. And rinse that off. So I'll let all of this dry. We're going to come back and get this to make it like that. Okay, so it's time to get this off of here. This is nice and dry. The big reveal. Getting this wet. See how that's turned so quickly. Get all that moist. And then we're going to start rubbing again. I love this. This is so great. It's like instant gratification. Well, once it dries, it is. But look at that. Oops. I rubbed a little too much on the head, but that's okay. It's going to have to be okay, right? Yeah, I'm going to get these other little fish. Wow, you guys, isn't that great? Image transfer with acrylic paint and laser copies. So beautiful. Look at what you can do. Look at all the possibilities. You've learned 3 great things today. You've learned how to image transfer. You've learned to utilize extra paint and start creating backgrounds in advance, and you've learned that it pays off to have a couple books going at once so that you can do that. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson and really take this to the next level and put this together with some of the other techniques that we have been exploring in this class. I'm Jules, this is my Art Bender, and I will see you next time.